What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Mom and Son podcast. My name's Anton. I am the son. And kung iba nga, it's a different type of intro now. It's because that is precisely the fact. It is a solo episode today. And our topic for today is the importance of me time. So sakto nga that we are having a solo episode for today. And I just want to share with all of you guys my experience of going through this quote-unquote me time or time with yourself. Okay, so emphasis on with yourself because I believe, let's just jump right into the topic again. I believe that me time is a purposeful and conscious action or activity. Okay, so it's not merely just the lack of a companion. Hindi porket mag-isa ka, that's spending quality time with yourself. Not because wala kang ka-date or basta wala kang kasama, that's me time na kaagad. What I would try to do and what I invite you guys to do is to really set time. It depends on you if you want to try it on like 15 minutes a day, or if you can have some me time every day or kahit every few days, ganun, bahala na kayo. But I just want to get into how I view me time, what my mindset is about this type of activity. So with me kasi in my line of work, there is a lot of lull time. There's a lot of free time on when I can sort of do different types of activities, but at the same time that freedom can be kind of crippling. Now you can think na, oh my gosh, I have so much time, I have so much quote unquote freedom to do everything. Where do I start? What do I do? So these are just the type of thoughts that I wrestle with, I question myself with on a daily basis. And so I kind of developed this appreciation of having that time alone. If you talk to people about me time, usually yung parang common answer would be yung tipong, you go on a date with yourself, you buy yourself a meal, you watch a movie, which are all, for me, it's really fun activities to do. But I don't think that those are necessarily just, me time. Because when you talk about me time, it's about being your own companion. It's about being okay in your own skin, being okay in your own company. And this doesn't necessarily have to be about going on a date, going on a type of scenario that would look like a date, except walang companion. This can be as simple as walking around the house, or being alone with your thoughts, or just looking out the window and questioning the color of the leaves. It's something, the thing I love about it, it's very random, it's very open, it's very vague. And the reason why I wanted to make an episode about this topic is because one, it's something that I have been dealing with, something I've been facing for quite a while now, and I really further developed in my time in JTA, or Junior Term Abroad, where I had the privilege of having a semester as an exchange student in France. And the second reason is because we've mentioned it a couple of times, that Christmas season is here. And during the Christmas season, what is highlighted is, being with your family, being with your loved ones, companionship of others, that it tends to heighten or exaggerate the loneliness someone can feel if they don't have that companionship, if they don't, physically have that family present in front of them na kitang-kita sa mga commercials. Because when you see the commercials, when you hear these jingles, it's about families that are happy together. We see stories of balikbayans, coming home, seeing their family, happy faces of people with each other, that, we tend to expect that, it's Christmas time, so we should always be happy. We should always be, with our friends and our loved ones and families. But that isn't the case. Like, realistically, you will still have time that you are alone. You will still have days when you aren't, in a Christmas reunion or in a party like that. And that's why research says that during these quote-unquote happy seasons, that's when the suicide rate jumps up, like it goes higher, which is you would think it's ironic kasi diba, it's a happy season, so how come people are unhappiest at this time? Bakit nga tumataas yung suicide rate when the Christmas season is supposed to be a time of giving, a time of joy, a time of love. But I believe it's because of the vast contrast. Since na-highlight nga, sabi ko nga na it's very highlighted, yung companionship of families, how people are so happy together, that if you do not have that commercialized happiness, you'd think that there's something wrong with you. All the more you're gonna feel that void or that emptiness inside you na wala kang kasama. So, mas maramdaman mo talaga na malulungkot ka kasi wala kang kasama. That's why I really believe it's very, very important and crucial to be able to develop this appreciation of being your own companion. People think that if we look at that movie about the Grinch, that he's someone who is very, that's one way to look at it. If you want to keep by yourself, it's probably because you're selfish, you don't have friends, you hate Christmas like the Grinch, diba? It's about me, myself, and I. But then that's not necessarily the case, because I believe that it's more important to be okay in your own skin, to be okay with yourself, than having many friends or having a lot of people like you. Kasi what's the point? And what's the point of having a lot of people like you if you don't even like yourself? So I mentioned a while ago that I further developed this when I was studying in France, and it wasn't something that I consciously set out to do. Na gusto ko na parang, okay, now that I'm living away from my family, I'm gonna make sure I'm okay with myself more. It was something that was kind of forced to me by no one else other than me. Kasi there would be times that I would travel alone. I wouldn't have the same schedule as my roommates. I lived with 3 other Ateneans, 3 other Filipinos, but they were in a different campus. So I was the only Filipino in my campus. I walked to school alone every day. I had classes with a lot of people who na English was their second or even third language. So very very isolated at times, very quote unquote alone. But then it was there na I developed na. And it's something I'm still developing, honestly. It's not like I have the secret. It's not like I unlocked the secret to being totally zen and being okay with myself. I don't need to see other people. Because don't get me wrong, I am somebody that really, really super, super loves going out, being with people, hanging out with friends. If I have one entire day that I'm cooped up in the house, if I spend a whole day at home, for sure the next day I'm gonna find a reason to go out of the house, to be with people, to be in that to have that social aspect of talking to other people and communicating with other people. Okay, going back to my time in France. So I would have a lot of train rides alone at home. I would have a lot of train rides alone, a lot of walks and commutes by myself, and I would always just listen to music. But then I realized at a certain point that, am I distracting myself from my own thoughts? Like, you just listen to music para wala ka nang isipin. Listen to music kasi, it's just something to pass the time. And listening to music is great. But then, when I tried not listening to music and just walk in silence, you don't even need to be having a conversation with yourself. But then, having that conscious silence na, okay, I'm just gonna let my brain, my consciousness breathe. I'm just gonna let it relax, and then if there are thoughts that are gonna pass by, Eddie, okay, entertain those thoughts, think about them, and then it's in those times that you consciously state na, I'm gonna give me some time for myself. Like, I won't listen to music muna, I'll just let my thoughts run. And I think it was in those times, those are the building blocks to me sort of developing a deeper relationship with myself, understanding myself more, and knowing myself a little bit better. And it's something that's I think a lot of these things are just falling into place. Very appropriate na it's Christmas time, na I'm doing this alone, this episode by myself, this topic of me time, because especially in the Christmas time, everybody knows that, yes, dumadami yung mga sale, dumadami yung mga balikbayan, pero mas grabe talaga yung traffic these days. Whether or not there is no such thing as rush hour anymore. It's probably just on rush hour, because there are just a few minutes in the day when traffic isn't bad. Like, it is the norm already. So, bringing that context back to Manila, that having that me time, everybody, if you want to move from one location to another location, whether you drive, whether you take a Grab, whether you angkas, whether you take the MRT, no matter what you do, you are going to be affected by the traffic. All social classes, all genders, all ages, we are all going to be affected by traffic. And traffic sucks talaga. Like, there is no way to sugarcoat it. It sucks. But it is a necessary obstacle, at least now. I hope not in the future, not in the near future, that we have to face on a daily basis, going to work, going home, going to see a friend, going home, anything. That's why I'm really trying to develop this appreciation of me time, so that time stuck in transit, that time while I'm driving, while I'm waiting for the stoplight to go green, I'm at peace. Because if you are consciously okay with yourself, it sort of makes everything better. Because the mindset is a very, very powerful thing. And if you try to adjust it, you can really change your whole disposition out of the whole day. Because yung traffic nga, it's something you're stuck in. But although this is easier said than done, I like to try to look at traffic as mandatory me time. I'm going to say that again. We spend so much time in traffic. So how I try to look at it is that, traffic, this is just mandatory me time. Which means, wala kang choice. You have to have that. You have to spend that time. And you spend it by yourself. So, gawin mo na lang mandatory me time. My suggestions could be, number 1, of course, listen to a podcast like the Mom and Son podcast. Number 2, especially if you're not driving, you can be listening to audiobooks, reading something. It doesn't have to be just about scrolling through social media, or in my case, playing solitaire. I challenge everybody to take that time, that mandatory me time that you are stuck in traffic, to do something productive, something meaningful. And it doesn't have to be, when I say productive, it doesn't necessarily have to be something related to work or something that's going to help you earn money. Just try to break that cycle. And it is a challenge. I'm saying it again, this is a challenge I pose to all of you listeners, and I challenge myself to do this also. Because syempre, if you're stuck in traffic, the norm is to just flip through Instagram, Facebook, see what's new. But then at a certain point, you aren't really learning something new anymore. So again, I just challenge people to break that cycle and to have that mandatory me time in traffic to do something productive. So I wanted to keep this episode short and sweet, and to really just be concrete with this message of having that me time, having it as a conscious and purposeful activity. Because again, it's not just the mere lack of a companion, because you can be and you are your own companion. And once we're okay, in our own company, once we're okay in our own skin, having conversations with ourselves, it's gonna make everything a lot better. I feel like it's gonna, branch out into having better relationships with others, having happier days, being more okay with the inconveniences and the sudden, changes in schedule or changes in plans that you have to face on a daily basis, all these inevitable inconveniences. Because once you're okay with yourself, then you can kind of just take on the rest of the world, because that's who you have naman eh. You have yourself. At the start of the day and the end of the day, it's you that you're with. Alright, so I hope everybody is bracing that Manila Christmas traffic with a happier mindset, and I hope you guys enjoy your mandatory me time, whether it's while you're listening to this podcast or, anytime the rest of your day. So once again, my name is Anton Fausto, here in the Mom and Son podcast, and I will check you guys out again next week. Bye, guys. The Mom and Son podcast airs every Tuesday, 7 a.m. and can be streamed on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout.com, and YouTube. Just search Mom and Son podcast for your weekly dose of family, finance, passions, and everything in between. Leave a comment so other listeners may find this podcast. If you have any questions or suggested topics, email us at antonfausto@gmail.com.